What's going on, ladies and gents? It's Salvaje. As you guys know, I've brought you guys a lot of Widowmaker guides, and I'm going to be doing the same for Ashe. So as always, if you guys enjoyed the guide, a like is always appreciated, and make sure to share with your friends so you guys can destroy with Ashe when she first comes out. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 10 fundamentals to completely obliterate your opponents with Ashe. And these are just 10 fundamentals that are going to help you sort of be effective with Ashe. And I just want to point out, as you guys may or may not know, I took a leave from Overwatch for a couple of months. My aim is trash, I'm sorry. But in this video, I decided to focus specifically on gameplay mechanics instead of mechanical type abilities, like, how great you are at aiming and all that stuff. These are just tips that any one of you guys can apply, an average player or a highly skilled player. With that said, let's get right into it. Alright, let's get started with the first fundamental, and this is just something that's going to give you an edge against the enemy Ashe if she's not using it. Make sure that you're using the coach gun to get out of spawn as fast as possible. Okay, listen, it might be obvious, but again, when it comes down to my guides, I also like to take into perspective the new players that are coming into Overwatch. The second tip, and something you should know about Ashe, you don't really need to hit a floor or a wall to basically just get the movement that the coach gun provides. You can literally shoot the coach gun in mid-air and it's still going to propel you up or in the specific direction that you want to go. The third tip, make sure that you guys use the coach gun for mobility. Make sure you guys use it to dodge things. And on top of all that, make sure that you also are using the coach gun actively to get better positioning. And this is something that can help you out a lot with Ashe. Positioning is something that is very important with her, specifically since she's a hero that can be very active with both her abilities as well as her Viper gun. The next tip, make sure that you use the coach gun to sort of close the distance between a kill. So here's what I mean by that, right? There's going to be a couple of times where you're going to be in combat with Ashe and the enemy opponent is going to be very weak. So what you guys want to do is you want to propel yourself towards the enemy opponents with the coach gun. Since you're going to be moving so quickly, chances are they're not going to be able to react, and therefore you're going to be able to, of course, secure a kill. Moving on to the next tip, and this one's kind of situational, but it can help you out. So if you know an enemy is going to go to a specific spot, like a health pack, make sure that you throw the dynamite towards that health pack, and that might, of course, get you a kill. Additionally, you can also throw a dynamite to a choke point where you know the enemy is going to be at soon, and if you time it correctly, of course, you can also either explode the dynamite or the dynamite will explode and you're going to be able to, of course, get a kill. Like I said, pretty situational, but it can help out from time to time. The next tip that I have for you guys comes down to the dynamite. So the truth is, Ashe is very ability focused. She's not like Widowmaker that's just all weapon skill. If you're not using your abilities with Ashe, you're not going to be as effective. And one of the abilities that you can use to make Ashe as effective as possible is, of course, her dynamite. To easily hit her dynamite, just throw it in the air, throw it in a straight line, and then make sure that you keep your crosshair sort of centered, and then if you have your crosshair center, all you need to do is just spam left click or just spam her primary fire, and you're going to be able to explode the dynamite, of course, pretty easily. Believe it or not, it's not that hard to explode the dynamite, and I just want to point out, scoping in to explode the dynamite like she did in the reveal trailer isn't as smart if you, of course, don't have that mechanical aim when, of course, you scope in. The next tip that I have for you guys, make sure that you guys use the coach gun to sort of create some distance from your opponents. So what do I mean by this? If an opponent is getting too up close to you, you can use the coach gun to sort of send them away from you, which is going to give you a better opportunity to, of course, shoot them. Or you can also use the coach gun to send them in the air. This is going to make their movement more predictable because movement is more predictable when an enemy is in the air, and therefore this is going to make them an easier target to hit, and therefore you're going to be putting yourself in a position where you can be more effective with Ashe while also making the opponent adapt to the situation you have placed them on. Tip number 8. Make sure that you know your limits with Ashe, and I've seen a lot of people sort of use Ashe at the long ranges. She's not really a long range type hero like Widowmaker. She can be effective a bit at the long ranges, specifically if you land those headshots, but for the most part you want to be using her at the medium to close ranges, maybe sometimes medium to longish ranges if, of course, the situation calls for it. The point is, you need to make sure that you're being effective with Ashe's positioning, and don't worry, I am going to be making an Ashe Widowmaker map, an Ashe map guide series, just like I did with my Widowmaker map guide series. Okay, this is actually a really good tip, and one tip that is going to completely melt tanks with Ashe. Make sure that if you are fighting a tank or if you are fighting a lot of teams, you know, at an enemy team that is very grouped up together, what you want to do, guys, is you want to call Bob, and then as Bob throws the people in the air, you want to throw your dynamite in the air as Bob is about to throw them in the air, and then you want to start shooting your dynamite. What that's going to do is Bob is going to throw the people in the air, and by the time the people are in the air, they're not going to be able to react to the dynamite exploding, which means you can then spam your primary fire with Ashe and just deal some massive damage. This is something that's definitely going to help you out when it comes down to Ashe. Anyways, last but not least, and my last fundamental for Ashe is a fundamental that I'm going to make a video on. So basically, make sure that you're just familiar with all of the combos that Ashe can provide, such as using your coach gun to get closer to a kill opportunity, or using the coach gun to get yourself a height advantage, and then throwing the dynamite, and then of course finishing off the opponent with a primary fire, or throwing the dynamite to weaken the opponent, and then finishing them off with a scope shot. There's a lot of combos that Ashe sort of has in place, and I am going to be making a video on it. So if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe, and of course check out the Ashe guides playlist in the description below. See you guys in the next one, and I hope you guys found this guide helpful.